The woman screamed the moment she saw the snake. It was enormous. Its thick black body was wrapped around the little girl sitting peacefully in the middle of the compound. But the strangest part wasn't the snake. It was the girl. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't crying. She was gently stroking its head as if it were her favorite pet. The woman stumbled backward. "Who are you?" The little girl slowly looked up at her. And then she smiled. "You were never supposed to find out. But how did an innocent-looking little girl end up with a giant snake wrapped around her?" To understand that, we have to go back to the day she first entered the human world. Far away from the villages and cities, beyond the physical world, there was a place ordinary people could never reach. In that strange realm, a mysterious woman stood before the little girl. The girl looked barely 8 years old. She was quiet, calm, almost innocent. The woman looked down at her and said, "You are going to the human world." The girl nodded. "You will find families that are happy and comfortable." Another nod. "You will enter their homes." The woman's voice became colder. "And you will destroy everything they have." The little girl finally looked up. "How many families?" The woman smiled. "As many as you can." Then she gave the girl one final warning. Never become attached to them. The next moment, the little girl disappeared. And when she opened her eyes again, she was sitting beside a dusty road in a small Nigerian village. She looked helpless. Her clothes were dirty. Her feet were bare. And she had tears in her eyes. Exactly as she had been instructed. That evening, a woman named Amara saw her. Amara had always dreamed of having another child. When she saw the little girl sitting alone, her heart immediately melted. "Where is your mother?" she asked. The girl lowered her head. "I don't know." "Where is your father?" "I don't know." Amara couldn't lie. She took the girl home, gave her food, bought her clothes, and after the girl had stayed with the family for several weeks, Amara decided to adopt her, naming her Ada. Everyone in the house loved Ada, and that was exactly what Ada wanted, because the moment she became part of the family, the destruction began. Amara's husband owned a successful trading business that for years had gone well. But shortly after Ada arrived, his biggest customer suddenly disappeared. Then another deal failed, then another. Money that should have entered the business somehow never came, and before long the workers began leaving, suppliers stopped trusting him, and a business that had taken him 15 years to build began falling apart in a matter of months. He couldn't understand what was happening, but Ada understood, and every night while everyone slept she would sit quietly beside her window, and sometimes something black would move through the darkness outside. Then things became even worse when Amara became pregnant and the entire family celebrated, but before she could hold her baby she lost the pregnancy. The house fell silent. Amara cried for days. Her husband became distant, and slowly the love between them began turning into blame as one of the relatives whispered, "You brought this child into our home." Others began accusing one another. Arguments became normal. The family business was collapsing. The marriage was falling apart, and the little girl sat quietly in the middle of it, all watching, waiting. One evening Amara caught Ada smiling while everyone else was crying. Her smile disappeared immediately, and when Amara asked, "Why are you smiling?" Ada looked at her and said, "I wasn't," though Amara wasn't convinced, yet she didn't know what she was looking at, didn't know that Ada had already completed her mission. That night Ada walked out of the house, and by morning she was gone. And she did it again. She appeared outside another family's home. They pitied her. They welcomed her. And she destroyed them. One family lost their business. Another family turned against each other over money. Another lost everything they had spent years building. And every time the household finally broke apart, Ada disappeared. Then she found another target. The spirit world was pleased. But Ada was becoming different. She had begun to understand something she had never experienced before. Humans could be cruel, but they could also love. And eventually, she entered the home of a woman named Nneka. Nneka was a widow with 2 children. When she saw Ada sitting alone by the road, she did exactly what the others had done. She took her home. But this family was different. Nneka didn't treat Ada like a stranger. She treated her like her own daughter. Her daughter shared her clothes with her. She was given her own bed. And every night, the family gathered together to pray. Ada watched them quietly, especially Nneka's teenage son, Daniel. Daniel took his faith seriously. Every night, before sleeping, he prayed for his mother, his sister, and the new girl they had welcomed into their home. Ada noticed something strange. Whenever Daniel prayed, the darkness